It's interesting. We're living in a time where there are revolutions all over the Middle East. In a sense, Ramapo has also had a revolution recently. For about 50 years, the people in the community never had a voice. I'm here 40 years. I never felt that I had a voice at the school board. There was something that, it was almost as the school board would say to the people in our community, if you want to have buses, then you have to do A, B, C, D. If you need a bus for my girl or my boy to go to school, I had to vote for everything they wanted. Every Jewish child is entitled to a bus. Every Jewish child is entitled to services. The Constitution provides that every yeshiva kid should be given the services granted by the United States government. We finally have people on the board that understand the needs of the community. But don't mistake it. Don't make a mistake. It doesn't mean they don't understand the needs of all students in Ramapo. They care about every single student, and so do we. Because we're interested that every boy and girl in Ramapo should have a good education. If the public school children have good education, it's great for our community. So whether you're a member, I don't care what shul you belong to, makes no difference which shul you belong to. Every person must get out to vote this year, and I'll tell you why. We're living in austerity now, and it's time for the government's going to be cutting programs. And we want to make sure that we have people on the board that don't permit them to cut services from what our children have a right to. So I'm asking you, everybody, no matter what shul you're in, we have Haftin, we have Danny Schwartz, we have Weissmandel, we have three great people that live in the community and know the community, so come out and vote.
My name is Daniel Schwartz, and I am currently a candidate for one of the vacant seats on the East Ramapo Central School District Board of Education. Why I'm running, it's a very simple matter. I live in the county and in the school district for the past 7 years. I work in the county, I pay taxes in the county, my children go to schools in the county. I have a vested interest in the success of the East Ramapo School District, not just for any particular special interest group, but for every child. I think that there is a fallacy that simply because somebody elects as a matter of faith not to avail themselves of the public school system, it's false for people to believe, therefore, that we don't have the same concerns for all the children in the district, including those who go to public school. Of course we care about all the children in the district. A strong, viable, healthy public school system benefits everybody. It lowers crime rates, it increases property values. Most importantly, it provides the future of the county and for the future of this country, in that we provide the children who will be the future leaders of this nation the best grounding that they possibly can have, which is an education. At the same time, of course, we're cognizant of the fact that we are living in an austerity time. Personally, I believe that simply raising taxes in order to solve a budget crisis at a school board is a foolhardy way to go about resolving the problem, because there's only a limited supply of money, and when it runs out, the tax dollars run out, which they will at one point or another, you're still going to be left having to make the tough choices which have to be made. If there are going to have to be cuts that are going to be made, we hope that it will not affect education. It shouldn't affect education, and they should not affect any of the services that are provided to any of the children in our school. That always has to be our highest priority. More importantly, I think it's important and vital for everybody in this school district to come to realize what's almost been my mantra in this election. All of us are in the same ship. Whether you send your children to yeshiva, whether you send your children to the public school, doesn't make any difference. Jew and Gentile alike, we are all in the same ship in this county. You can't shoot a hole in somebody else's side of the lifeboat without sinking yourself. And I'm hoping that via this election to build bridges to the community at large, and which will enable all of us to live together in an atmosphere of mutual respect and genuine concern one for the other. My pleasure that if elected, if anybody has any concerns, any questions, any issues that they need to raise with regards to my role in government. I'll make myself accessible to anybody at any time, hopefully to the betterment of all. Thank you very much.
The one thing that I've noticed, which kind of bothers me as an Orthodox Jew, I have to pay for my children's education, which is very expensive. Not only that, now I have to pay for public education, which comes out to almost the same price. My taxes are like $6,000 or even more, I think, a year. And I think when my son went to yeshiva, it was also $6,000. Busing is something that everyone should be able to have, not just public school education, but private school also, whether it's parochial school or yeshiva. We all deserve the ability to bus our children and have equal opportunity. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard Stone, former school board member, served for 7 years on the East Ramapo School. East Ramapo, when I came to this county, I came to East Ramapo because it was the top school district we were in the county. From the time Jack Anderson became sick until I got onto the school board, under the administration at that time, the school district went from the top school district in the county to the bottom. At that time, I felt I had to help out. I had to pay back to the public schools what the public schools gave me and my children.
And on May 17th, we have a very critical election. Very critical in the sense that every one of my friends, everybody in this community, Monsey, Spring Valley, New Square, wherever you are, come out and vote. You can't imagine how important it is that every student that's entitled to services should get it. Remember, there were years when they literally raised 9%, 11%,
Yeah.
10%. In the last 2 years, till
Every
the
year.
new people are on, it's 1%. It's amazing, and nobody would cut services. Kids are getting their education, and our people are also getting their rightful. And there's people like Mr. Stone that fought that battle. You know, if a kid that had special needs, an autistic kid, you have to beg for the kid to get an education. Parents can send the kid anywhere. Baruch Hashem, we got people in there that fought for our people. That's the
Do
revolution.
you have any support outside the Jewish community?
Anecdotally, I can say that yes, there is some support out there for me.
The benefits of
Can you explain the contract issues that are going to be coming up next year with the teachers union?
Okay, it's very important. Right now, while we're in the recession, which really many call a depression, the teachers absolutely refuse to take a cut in their pay. Unfortunately, the superintendent, coming from a teaching background, was sympathetic to the teachers, and as far as I'm concerned, did not push as much as he could. But now with the new board, I believe the board, with our from board, and it must be a from board, it must stay a from board. With a from board, we can force the union to deal with the board itself, and we don't have to give a nickel to the teachers if they don't want to support the children, because actually what they're doing is, by taking bigger and bigger salaries, they're cutting programs. It's the teachers who are causing the cutting of programs to these children, because as they get richer, there's less money to put into the children. And it's the teachers of East Ramapo that causes the problem that we don't have enough money for the children.
And do you know what the teachers' current salaries are?
What it is, the average salary right now runs about $80,000.
Now, does this $80,000 a year, does that include benefits?
No, that's the salary. And on top of that, they get lifetime medical and dental, which we pay for each year, even under the contract. If we do not make a new contract next year, refuse to make a contract, they get what's called steps and lanes. For longevity, every year that they're there, they get a 3% raise. On top of that, they negotiate another 2.5% to 3% raise.
Now, who negotiated the current contract?
The current contract was negotiated under someone who is no longer with the school district. And although it seemed good at that time, once the recession set in, it was very important that the teachers be willing to cooperate and work for the children of East Ramapo, which they refused to do.
And we're not opposed to paying our taxes. We're paying our taxes. I'm paying taxes for 40 years. And my kids have been going to non-public. But 22,000 kids in non-public schools going to yeshivas. Don't we have a right to say something about how the school district should be run? So that's why I said, thank God we have people in there that can balance the needs of our community and at the same time balance the needs of the public school community, which a person like Danny Schwartz, who's an attorney, who's reputable, he's an arbitrator, he understands different sides, and he can help that balance. So everybody, whatever you're doing on the 17th, make time to come out.